All right, this is gonna be one of the silliest tier lists I've ever recorded, but people kept requesting an event llamas tier list. Now, some of these llamas aren't in the game anymore, and some of the llamas that exist, like neon llamas, I don't even think are represented here, but I think Storm Zone llamas are neon llamas. Some of these were before my time and ones that I've never even seen before, but I'm going to be ranking these off of a couple of things. First and foremost, how useful the actual items are, like Sci-Fi Weapons are doubled up, it was an accident, are definitely very good, but they require V-Bucks. I am, for the sake of this video, going to try and ignore the fact that some of these llamas require V-Bucks because we're ranking llamas that aren't, you know, they haven't even been available for over 3 or 4 years, some of these. So it's good. We're going to go based off what items are in it. V-Bucks are a kick to the teeth and very annoying, but I have to do it that way or else it's just going to be very annoying. So let's get into it. First and foremost, we got our Deco Llamas. I think I'm going to put these in S tier. Art Deco weapons are some of the strongest in the game, and just to give us some visual aid, I pulled up the collection book. So yeah, Art Deco weapons, I mean, the Floor Flusher is very strong. The Big Shot, one of the strongest shotguns in the game. Sodbuster, one of the highest launchers in the game. Killjoy, I mean, the extra damage to elemental enemies that these weapons encourage include very, very strong. Then we've got Birthday Llamas, obviously S tier. They have all the weapons. What do you want from me? Of course they're S tier. We can move right on. I am being told, okay, these llamas are listed as Blockbuster Llamas, but I believe these have been textured. I'm sorry, Iwari. I think they've been retextured essentially as like military llamas. That's what Archer said. I'm gonna vote these as military llamas. I think S tier because again, same story. Military llamas are some of the best, weapons are the best in the game. Now, you should not spend V-Bucks on this, in my opinion. Military weapons can all be researched without spending any money. If you want a Bobcat, you can go ahead and pick it up right now. If you are going to do that, go ahead and do the purple version. That way you can see what the 6 perk is going to be. Then again, with core reperk being as plentiful as it is now, I think you just go for the legendary copy nowadays, save the flux, and you'll be good to go. So, yeah, military weapons are insane. Whisper 45, Sun Spectre, Ground Pounder, Crossbow is actually very, very strong. Really great weapon set. Military llamas are ranked plenty high. Thank you again, Archer, for setting this up, by the way. This keeps scrolling up and down. What do we even have here? Fortnite Llamas. Fortnite Llamas give you the black metal weapons. They're pretty unexceptional in large. However, you can get legendary survivors from this. And for that reason alone, Fortnite Llamas become one of the best manual farming llamas in the game. Speedrunning dungeons and opening as many of these llamas as you can is an extremely useful tool for getting those manuals. And it's a good way to go. It's a good way to go. I might have just messed up my speech because I made the mistake of reading chat, but yeah, let's continue on. Lunar Llamas, easy C tier. They don't give anything super exceptional. The Lunar Llamas are pretty, weapons are pretty not great, so it's just kind of whatever. We're going to move right on to the Pirate Llamas, which, believe it or not, actually drop the pirate weapons. I know, shocker, right? You get some pretty good weapons in here. Bundle Bust, Bowler, Old Betsy, Spyglass, all of these are super standout weapons. Jack's Revenge. Powder Keg is a worse bow than I ever thought it was, but it's still pretty good for crowd clearing, so generally fairly worth opening. Maybe not worth spending V-Bucks on, but I'll put them in A tier because the weapon set is generally pretty good. Rad Llamas, I want to put them in S tier simply because of the Totally Rockin' Out heroes that come out of them. Buffing Totally Rockin' Out is a great thing to get, and while they don't give you Dennis Jr., who actually gives you the team perk, they do give you all of the pieces to activate the team perk, and for that reason alone, I mean, S tier team perk, S tier llama, that's how I'm looking at it. And yeah, Spy Weapons. I'm sorry, Iwari, but it's just my opinion. Spy Weapons, easy A tier. So Spy Weapons are largely quite strong. Unfortunately, they're all kind of B-tier weapons. Like, Pepper Spray and Trinity are great SMGs, but they're not quite the strongest. The Grunt is pretty good, but there are better options. Browbeater does a ton of damage, but shoots a little too slow. Like, there's a drawback pretty much every turn there. Generally a great weapon set, not worth V-Bucks in my opinion, but A tier. Also, the pot shot is in the Spy Weapons, I believe. So that's kind of like the single standout, and you can get that from the llamas. So I'm not going to raise the entire llama because of one weapon. They're basically B tier llamas. If you see a pot shot, it's S tier until you purchase it, and then the rest of them will be like B tier again. So I'm going to put them in A tier all around because those weapons are very good. And while it does have the pot shot, that one weapon does not raise the entire llama's stock value. Sci-Fi Weapons, same as Art Deco. We do have them doubled up here. It was an accident. They're extremely strong weapon set all around. Deatomizer, Pulsar 9000, the Plasmatron pistol, it goes on and on. Great weapons and great llamas. V-Bucks, again, I don't know, but yeah. So the winter llamas here are a little tricky because we used to get medieval weapons, but those would be the 2018 winter llamas. We'll get to those in a second. The current winter llamas that we're about to do are actually called holiday llamas, and these are the weapons you get. You get some standouts: Pain Train, Ginger Blaster, Pop Shot, Coco 45 is good, Santa's Little Helper is amazing. All of these are super decent weapons. So in general, I do believe it's kind of like an A tier llama set, maybe even S tier, but at the same time, what we're looking for is the 2018 Winter Llamas. Medieval weapons are some of the strongest in the game, and I do believe it's an S tier weapon set. I think, you know what, let me double check that, because I feel like I have great memories, but the only one coming to my brain right now is the Hemlock. And like I just said with the Pot Shot, oh yeah, Jabberwocky's insane. The Hemlock is very, very good. Guardian's Will is great for movement, and okay, all right. I think all around, this is probably a high A tier set, but it has some S tier weapons. So I'll put these both in high A tier because they give great weapons, but overall they are I wish these would return. The medieval weapons have been getting drip fed to the player base through the weekly shop. I don't know why. Hemlock is phenomenal. The Jabberwocky is so good, but we've gotten several of those a year, and I guess that's good enough to get those throughout the year instead of just waiting. Founders weapons have been largely disappointing. This does not include the Founders weapon you get for the purchase. These are just the purple Founders weapons, which are all pretty bad. The Night Cleave, old copies of the Night Cleave can have 4x attack speed, and I made a whole video about the story behind that. I'll link it down below if I can remember to, but it's a C tier set. You know what? I'll even put D tier. Those purple Founders weapons are not that good, and the Founders weapons that you're thinking of, like the Nocturno and the Founders Revolt, do not come from these llamas, so that doesn't even save them, and I'm going to put them down here. Scavenger Llamas. $0 is what these are worth nowadays, because you can just research Scavenger Weapons and get them from the map. That's probably why we don't see these llamas anymore, but Scavenger Weapons are just improved versions of the base game weapons, and seriously S tier. Some of my favorite weapons in the entire game are Scavenger, and I'm going to show you right now because they're awesome. The Huskbuster might be my candidate for the best shotgun in the game. I need to do some more research before I commit to that opinion, but it's insanely strong. The Scavenger Rocket Launcher is a copy of the Bazooka. Thank you for following, Tyler. I'm going to mute the alerts for the rest of the video. It's a great rocket launcher, and these two are the main standouts. The Riptide is one base damage point lower than the Thrasher, unfortunately, but the Thrasher is so insane that even the Riptide is still very, very good. So you have some very key standouts in here, and after taking a second look, like I said, 2 or 3 standouts out of llamas that give you like 9 different weapons. I'm gonna have to put it down in A tier as a general thing, but it's still, there's some very, very good Scavenger weapons, and it's if these ever come back around, maybe you should pick up a few, unless it's for V-Bucks, in which case you should not. Neon weapons, I guess that would include the Xenon Bow, but we kind of get those regularly. Neon weapons are pretty bad, kind of like Lunar weapons. I can't think of too many standouts, and since I've been pulling this up, let's check it out together. Neon Sniper's pretty good, but not great. Mercury LMG's pretty good, but not great. Xenon Bow is available in regular llamas. We can get that anytime, and it's the only weapon in here that doesn't let you use Flux, so kind of a bummer, but you know, you only need one Xenon Bow copy and then you're off to the races. So I'm going to put this in C tier. It's kind of irrelevant because it's not really in the game, but yeah. Vintertech weapons are almost entirely bad. I think D tier is fair. F tier might be fitting of them, which is ironic because wasn't Vintertech like by lore, like it was like the big company that was, I don't know, to save the world lore as well as I should, but the only standout I can even think of here is like the Vintertech shotgun is a good amount, but not that much. And the bow, I actually ranked at number 5 in my top 5 bows, but those two, I mean, again, are not available in these llamas. And like these llamas aren't even a thing. So I'll put it in D tier because the overall set is pretty bad. Lastly, we've got the Wild West weapons, which dropped the steampunk weapons. I know they changed the name on us, so you don't have steampunk weapons anymore. I know we don't have Wild West weapons anymore. We have steampunk weapons, which is always confusing to me. Cannonade is insanely strong. Cloudburst is insanely strong. The Thrasher can be very, very fun. Steam Thrasher, different than the SMG. The Baron is awesome for movement. You don't need the Baron schematic to get that movement bonus. You just need a copy handed to you, a triple movement. Lasts forever. Double Boiler, one of the hardest hitting shotguns in the game. Overall, it's a very good set. Everything I just didn't mention there is all pretty good too. I'm going to put it in A tier. It's solid. Just anywhere on here is fine. But yeah, A tier, it's good weapons. It often comes through for V-Bucks. I don't think that's worth it yet, but it's still pretty good. This has been one of the memeiest tier lists I've done. These are just for fun. It's a good time. I know a few people have requested this, so hopefully this makes you guys happy. I know I didn't include upgrade llamas or anything, but I mean, they have every item in the game. Well, every base item in the game, so And we were just doing event llamas, and that was kind of the idea. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below what you guys thought, and I'll see you in the next one.